Hey, all, it's Dinosaur again. One more review, just really quick, before I really have to hit the bed. I want to talk about Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This is coming off a really bad Planet of the Apes movie starring Mark Wahlberg. Now, um, this is the first reboot into it because Mark Wahlberg's Planet of the Apes was mixed reviews. Some people totally liked it. Some people totally hated it. However, a lot of people loved this new Planet of the Apes. Um, it was really a great job. They did a fantastic job. It was Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and it's still a place where humans were pretty much the masters of the destiny here. Um, the whole story revolves around a chemical drug to try to fight Alzheimer's and change a brain on that to activate neurons to change the brain. Well, in this particular example, they started injecting chimpanzees, apes, orangutans. They started doing these things, and this one chimp was especially just vicious on that he would just not care. He was so upset about being there. He would lash out at the handlers, which eventually led to his demise. On that, but this doctor loved all the animals, and what happened was, is towards the end of the first part of the movie, they're having a big boardroom meeting because they tried out the drugs and the drugs are working. But then what happens? Their test subject got really mad, broke out of glass, then went to the boardroom and smashed through the window, scared the bejesus about everyone in the boardroom. And then what happened was, is that they're like, we're never going to fund this because this thing is nuts. And the doctor's like, this was a mistake, and that this happens, but you know the drug works. And the investor says this can't happen. So what happened was they ordered all the chimpanzees destroyed. There was an infant chimpanzee which was born of a mother there, which he took home as a pet. He refused to destroy it. Well, what happened was, is through the genetic engineering of that company, the chimp started just started recognizing things and started doing things in ways more man would do, such as stacking bricks or counting or things like that. But he was still a monkey deep down. So what happened was, wow, they named him Caesar on that. And then Caesar, it's an ironic play on the play on words with Roman Caesar. Caesar starts growing up in the human household, and they start treating him as a son, but he is still an animal and still a pet. But then he gets smarter. Now, what they do is an experiment, which was illegal by you, is that the doctor starts using the medicine on his father. His father got better quick, but like nature does, nature has an interesting sense of humor. Is that where it worked in the ape, the humans created antibodies to fight the injection, so that his father completely came crashing down, and then just buried his father and killed him eventually. On that, and through the guy's grief with his father going crazy and everything, he had to give the ape up to this one sanctuary in San Francisco. And the sanctuary had a roof that was on top of something like that, and it had a top, and then these chimpanzees would get sunlight, and then they would look at each other or that. But when Caesar came into there, all of them got quiet on that because they all looked at Caesar. Because he was different. He was something that they didn't see before. They knew he was a chimp, but they didn't know what. Then that's when we start seeing things. Caesar started seeing things. And then, of all things, the one chimp that did understand it was not. It was an old orangutan with a big fat face. He was one of my favorites there. On that, he's like, why are we doing this? And the chimpanzee says, we're doing this because this will work. And he's like, apes are stupid. They're not going to get this. So then, realizing that problem, he goes back. Caesar escapes, goes back, gets the chemical he needs from his father's thing, comes back, infects all the chimps. Then they all start doing super thinking, and they all realize that everything they have is due to Caesar. Now, in this whole mess, is they find a new version of this drug, which then they start testing again. But then the lab was supposed to be testing one subject. They started testing multiple at the same time, and that's where it is with this company that started it, because all this whole thing was about was building money. Now Caesar, he got his ass kicked in a fight, but he's like, I'm not going to get my ass kicked again. My humans betrayed me. And then the humans came, and one of the interesting moments is he took the cage door and closed it on. And the thing is with Caesar is he never forgot who they were, and he never forgot the kindness they showed him. Whereas the other apes just got out there and didn't care. They were here. There were some exceptions, and so they go out here, and Caesar's developing a plan. Because Caesar likes this area north of the bridge. He knows how to get there, and he's told the apes. Now the apes are so smart on that, and the apes on that now start organizing, and then once the trainers make them so they set them up, they knock them out, or in one case I think someone was killed, and then they escape, and then they start going through the trees on the way to Marin Headlands, and then their goal is to stop them at the bridge by funneling them in so they kill them all. But what happens is they figured it out, what was going on, because they were going over cars, and all of a sudden they see a bus and no cars, and they go, wait a minute. Caesar's like puts up his hand like, wait a minute, no. And then he starts telling his people, you up, you down, and then they start going around the whole thing. But then he said, points to the apes, you come here, push this thing. And he was leading them. So what happens is that the apes have started to gain intelligence on that. So they eventually escape, and nobody can believe what they have just seen is a bunch of apes that did all this. But one of the most interesting parts is at the end of the film, where Caesar said to him, he's like, I can fix this. I can go. You just gotta come home with me. And Caesar's like, I am home, or Caesar is home. And then he says, okay, fine. But here's the thing, interesting. Caesar may not have liked humans. He always remembered this one human. He would never hurt him, because he had no reason to hurt him, because he was always straight with him, always talked to him, always cared about him. Unfortunately, the laws prevented it. So it's a fascinating movie, and the thing is there's a lot of cold-blooded moments, like one of the times where one of the chimps comes up to the executive who was on a police helicopter. How he got on a police helicopter, I don't know, but he's there and he knocks it over here. The ape scene where he jumps out of the Golden Gate Bridge, grabs the guys in the helicopter, starts wailing them. Awesome scene. The orangutan was just funny. He's just like, I'm badass, whatever, you old punks. And like one of the cool things he sees a police car, he just reaches down, picks up a manhole cover and throws it at it. Solves that problem quick. That's how this guy rolled. He just didn't care on that. But now here comes an opportunity to care, because of the message that these people left behind, saying that not only is trimming, or no, not trimming, but with the apes being and the message left behind, is not only do you think you could be helping humanity, but you may be harming it in the long run. And I think that was the whole moral story at the end. We'll see how he plays it out the rest of the way. It's pretty obvious that there's going to be a sequel to this. which is coming out next July, called Dawn of the Rise of the Apes, which should be very interesting as well. And then, that's really about it. With the movies, I think it's an excellent movie. I think everyone should watch it at least once. DVD rental, not a buy. But I say that almost about everything. Very rarely I say buy it. And then, but anyway, this is Dinosa. I hope you all had a good night. I gotta get this stuff up and go to bed. Talk to you later.